Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You, Say It Back. Sports Edition is Week 15 NFL. We only got 3 of these left. Let's go. Baby, we are back in studio today. Just me and John. Well, Joel's in studio, but he's doing something over there. I don't know, working on something. He told us he's working on a little class project, but I see the reflection on your phone. That looks like a 3X website over there. I don't know what the hell. I'm doing a lot of hard work over here. Yeah, you are. I can see it, buddy. How you doing, John?
Doing good. Wish it could be better. You know, my boy just got waxed tonight, so.
Oh, we're gonna get to
could
that.
Could be better, but we're here.
He's like, maybe they'll forget that the Cowboys played. Nope, Sunday Night Football. Everybody watch.
Everybody's seen that shit.
I can't say too much because Steelers about to play tomorrow in front of everybody, and it's just like it's not fun. But we got a lot to catch up on. Week 15, crazy week, and it's really starting to get to a separation point where you look at how certain teams start slow. But we kind of have a good idea of who's good, who's bad. Like it's no longer like random wins, and maybe this team comes in like. You have a good idea. Teams are getting healthier. Teams are getting hurt, but generally what you're kind of where every team stands. So we'll get into that. Want to remind you guys, we are on Spotify at ILY Say It Back Pod. If you're listening on there, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, keep up with everything that we got going on. Same thing on iHeart, same thing on Apple Music, whatever it is that you listen to the podcast on. Please hit that subscribe, hit that follow, hit that on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the channel. And I think one of my New Year's resolutions next year is really lock in on the YouTube channel. YouTube's been more of just like, you just take the video and you post it up there. But we haven't done thumbnails or anything like that. So, but YouTube is a big outlet. So definitely.
Yeah, a lot of people, I'm a YouTube guy. So I think it'd be worth it.
You did a top 5 on YouTube. That was kind of cool. You did. Yeah, you're like your top searches.
Oh, yeah.
We won't get into details, but I did see that you had it available.
Yeah, I did the year. He's talking about the year wrap. People do this, the Spotify and the Apple Music. I did mine with YouTube.
Yeah, that was good. Which is also interesting. I think that's the purest form of, you can't fake something like that. Like you go your whole year, you're going to watch what you're going to into. You could pretend. Yeah, you could fake it for a week.
Some people do, though. I could just, some sweats, some tryhards. They purposely do some things.
Yeah, for a week, and then you ultimately revert to listening to Maroon 5. You're like, fuck, this is going to pop up on my... But let's get into we got some NFL football. We got a top 5 list that we did this week. To me, personally, probably one of the hardest that we're even adding an honorable mention, which we sometimes do, but like I really wanted to make sure that we touched on the honorable mention. We'll get into all that. But before we did... I like asking you, John, about the idea of our Wednesday wisdom, like our whole, it's fun. I did this episode, last one by myself, and it was kind of late night. It was the quickest episode of the podcast that I've ever done. It was a late night, had an event earlier, had the giveaway to do, but then I came into the studio, knocked it out. It was like 19 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was quick. It was easy. But I wanted to get into the question real quick. I wanted to get your thoughts and opinion, on this situation. So I don't know if you saw it, but long story short is it's a long word. She fell in love with this guy. Obviously, when you get married, you're in love. This is as sweet as it gets. But ultimately, over time, he started neglecting his health. He started neglecting the gym, what he's eating. The driven, motivated person, when it came to business, when it came to love, when it came to life in general, was no longer there. She's like, he was ambitious and driven. Now he's just kind of like one of those just cubicle jobs. And he's like, nah, this is it. This is good. I got fat and happy. And she's like, the hard part for her was saying like, I think I'm falling out of love. Is it wrong for me to feel this? How can I fix this?
By physical attraction.
But it's not even, no, it's not just physical attraction. Well, it's a big part of physical attraction.
It's more of a mentality then, probably.
But it's like, it's everything. It's like, yeah, you could gain some weight, but you're still a motivated person who's going out and getting shit done. This guy just got comfortable in wherever he was. And she's like, I don't like that. That's not what I fell in love with. What do you think on that?
Yeah, it sounds like he lost his ambition, somewhere along the way. They got married at 24, which is, that's not young. It's not particularly old either. But I would say, you're married at the end of the day. this happens along the course of marriage. I think before she starts thinking about having any ideas about moving on or trying to, play the field, which is probably not something that she'll do immediately, but you got to give your max effort. You got to, I know sometimes it's past the conversations. Sometimes it's the action, cutting out certain meals, making sure that you guys don't go out to eat, really getting them along the path, of getting back in the gym, getting motivated for certain things, going to school for a degree or certificates, or maybe he's unhappy with his career, maybe changing a career path.
That could be a big one. Let me ask you just about the thought in general about falling out of love with, like, if you got married and the person that you got married to all of a sudden gave up. It was like, hey, she was driven, she was ambitious, she was all about the gym, she cared about these things, and suddenly she stopped. And over years and years, you're like, hey, can we do something about this? Like, to me, it boils down to, like, was I bamboozled? Was that not who you are? Were you just trying to get me to lock down and marry? Like, I don't really fault her for feeling like, yeah, I'm not in love with this person anymore. If I'm putting in effort and I'm going for runs into the gym and eating right, and you're not, you think you just get fat and happy? Like, I think there's a responsibility to your partner.
Absolutely.
Like, to me, it's one of the biggest signs of love. Let me show you that I love myself, that I care about, about myself, to show you that I care about, us feeling good, looking good, being sexually attractive and attracted to each other still. Because it sounds like this dude just locked it in and just said, got you.
Yeah, then it does, and that does happen, but when it comes to falling out of love, I think you got to see what is it that you fell in love with? Did you stop falling in love with them because of the new behavior that they've changed or now fallen into, or are you falling out of love with them physically? I think if it's physical and you've put in the effort and you've put in the time and you try to sign them up for classes or you try to help them cut out meals.
Sign them up for classes sounds hilarious.
Hey
babe.
It gets to a point, but as a man though, it takes a lot for me to give up on people, because it takes a lot for me to even
to get to the point where I'm
giving in effort in that kind of effort in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you already got me there, it's gonna take a lot to get me out, but I'm gonna try every avenue I can to get you back to where I know you can be. So I would tell my girl, hey babe, I know you're better than this. You're treating yourself poorly, and as someone who loves you and cares for you, I don't want to see you continue to go down this path.
Yeah.
However I can to help you, I'm in it with you. If we're married, that's what it's supposed to be. But she has every right to feel a certain way. Hey,
I absolutely.
You're fat and sloppy, and you're lazy. Your work ethic is terrible. You don't want to. Yeah, it's not attractive.
It's not, because if I met you at this, there's no chance in hell we're not even getting married. We're not even dating. I'm not dating someone who is this.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm attracted to. But that's not what I fell in love with. And I think ultimately, maybe finding a way to get to the root of, like, what changed? What is it? Is it me? Is it something that I did? Is it something that you're not happy with? Is it something that... And then once you get beyond that, it's just like, okay, well, if you're not willing to do and make any effort, then I can't help you. And then whatever needs to happen after that. But I'm talking about, like, I agreed with you. Therapy, conversations, like all that stuff has got to be into play. You can't give up on marriage that easy.
No.
But my big point was, you should not feel bad about having expectations for your partner.
You shouldn't feel bad about it.
And you feel it's a lack of respect and love for your partner to just give up on yourself and just be like, yeah, whatever, this is what you get. It's just like, I think one of the biggest signs of love is showing that I care about me to you.
And it's even, I think somebody commented like, oh, maybe he has mental health issues or something like that. Something mentally is not clicking for him. Maybe he fell out of motivation for life. And I would explore, well, is it his job? Is it his career path that he doesn't want to be in anymore? So maybe it could be a deeper issue. But yeah, if she's married and she claims that he was a perfect guy for her at one point, he was ambitious, he was a family man, he was all these other things, then I would try. If I were her, I would try to find that part of him in there. It exists. He can get there. But it's different as a man. You got to be the leader. You know, you're held to a different standard.
There it is.
You're held to a different standard as a man, and you have to be the leader. And when you're not showing up and you're not taking charge of and taking control, and that's a cuss word nowadays. You can't say control, but you have to, because if you don't have things under control, watch them get out of control as a man.
Yeah.
And that's what he's seeing. He's seeing the wife not be happy. And then if they have kids, you know, he's probably not taking charge of them. But yeah, it's different for a man.
It's almost like it's taboo to speak about what you were referring to and you using your words saying control. It's like, it's okay to talk about it when you lose it. It's like, well, I lost control of this whole thing.
Exactly.
But the things that you got to do to prevent getting there, people never get credit for it.
No.
I'm going to step in. I'm going to take control before it gets bad.
Exactly.
It's okay to talk about it if you lose control and you're at the rock bottom. No, I'm going to do everything to stop us from getting to rock bottom.
And in the beginning, as a man, you have to set your non-negotiables, even if you're married. And you got to kind of be who you are, not for a woman, not for a girl, not for a wife, but that's because of who I am. I'm an ambitious man that at one point he was going to the gym, he was family oriented, and that can't change. He values his friendships. It's good that she could benefit off of that, but you know, I don't do it for you. I don't do it for you. I do it because this is who I am. And these are guiding principles that guide my life. And that's what she was attracted to. That's what made her fall in love. And the moment you get too complacent, you get fat and happy, then you stop doing those things that got you the girl. Well, then now you're in this situation that he's in. So
and then the biggest thing too, it's not like she's gotten to that place. She's worked on herself.
Yeah,
she's done everything right. So there's a contrast where it puts an emphasis on what he's doing. It's like, look, when you get in a relationship, there's going to be the relationship way. A little bit of this, a little bit of that on both sides. But when one person's putting in all the effort to themselves to be the best version of themselves for their partner, when the other person feels like they've given up, she should not feel bad for feeling this way.
Nope.
And exhausting every option before.
Question, what if it was flipped? If would this change anything for you?
No.
If he is the one motivated in the gym, you know, studying, whatever it is, career driven, and then his wife, you know, let's say she got pregnant or she got fat out of nowhere, and you know, would it change anything for you? The dynamics of being gender flipping?
No, and I actually brought this up on the podcast. I was like, I'm glad a woman asked this because I feel like there would be outrage if a guy wrote in and said, my girl got fat. And they're like, bitch, do you like, you know, like I can just feel like I could feel it.
That's why I bring it up.
And for these questions, flip the roles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like flip it. And there's a completely different, I think people are hypocritical on social media. Everybody loves to pretend to be perfect and be like this and that. And women tend to take, and we have an over 80% female listener base, so they tend to lean on, like right now, she's like, yeah, you know, they're talking about like helping, you know, all these, but there's other situations where it's like, don't think I'm blind to the fact that you definitely favor the woman. And it's like, oh, a woman goes out to the bar, goes out to the club and has a history. It's like, it's okay. We all have a past. But if it was a guy, it's like, men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I love that it was a woman asking this, because I feel like there would be this would be met with outrage if it was the other way around.
And just to close on that, that's why I think it's important, because as a man, I would tell him, hey, you know, you got to motivate your girl. And as a girl, I would tell her the same thing. You're a partner. It's a partnership. And if you see your partner slipping or falling behind and not up to par with you, you got to help him get back to where he was. That's what partners do. You can't just work in silo and be like, oh, I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna take care of myself, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
That's not what partners do. Yeah. And as a man, that's what I would expect for a man to do. You know, try to get his girl back on track, motivate her, you know, encourage her, give her some, positive words. I would expect that from a woman too, you know, so.
Yeah. Work together, get to the root. But my big thing is like, don't feel bad for feeling this way, because you should have expectations from your partner. Absolutely. And that doesn't stop when you get married.
Absolutely.
Let's talk week 15 NFL football. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with Thursday night football. Falcons 29, Bucks 28. This was the game that we were at. This was the Old Dominion concert, and which, by the way, was fantastic. Had a lot of fun. You were vibing out there. I was on a boat that day, on the river was flowing underneath my building. Shout out Dignity Health Arena for that collab there. That was fun. But yeah, so we'll talk about that later. But Falcons 29, Bucks 28. what the fuck are the Falcons? Like, what? Who are you? Like, it's a motherfucker showing up at your house and be like, I don't know. It could be a burglar. It could be the kid down the street. You don't know what to expect when you watch the Falcons. They could lose to Miami when Miami's sputtering, or they could beat the Bucks, who the Bucks were in a must-win situation. You expected all-out effort with Mike Evans. He had a good game. I don't know what is going on with the Falcons. I don't know, but the Bucks seem to be sputtering as well too. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Falcons are the Jags of the NFC. They can lose and beat anybody on any given day, and they're a weird team. The Jags actually, I have more to say on them later, but they're actually doing a lot better on both sides of the ball. But traditionally they're just all over the place like the Falcons. And the Bucks are just dead in the water now. They're dead in the water.
You think so?
I think so.
That division is still up for grabs.
The division's up for grabs, but I can't see them doing anything. I can't take them serious at all.
Yeah.
So if they get in, they're going to be a first round bounce. I think whoever wins that division is going to be a warm up for whatever team plays them.
That division's hilarious. It's like yesterday the Panthers were in first place. Then they go out and lose, and the Bucks are fighting for first place, and then they go out and lose. It is like, does anybody want this shit?
Nobody wants it. They're playing hot potato.
Take it. I will say though, if the Bucks happen to get in, which I think they are going to ultimately win that division and get into the playoffs, they're getting healthier at the right time. They're getting Mike Evans back. They're getting Godwin. Egbuka was successful when they were there, so that could spark something up defensively. They can do enough. Maybe this is something that lights the fire. But Bucks, I think ultimately they get it together. Maybe they can be dangerous in the playoffs. But the Falcons, who are you? And then Kyle Pitts sitting on my bench with 50 points, like
what you've been waiting for all year.
Yeah, right. All career. Let's move on to today's games. That was Thursday. Falcons going nowhere. Just to finish that thought on there. Ravens 24, Bengals 0.
The belt-to-ass game of the week.
BTA Daddy.
The Raiders could have took this one too, as always, but that's just an easy cop-out. So this one is going to have to be the Bengals because they're playing a division matchup, and they get waxed by the Ravens 24-0 at the crib too. So,
with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, with Joe Shiesty. Threw two picks, and I don't know. They look terrible.
Okay, so game Bengals kind of wasn't really relevant to them much at all. Ravens needed to get that big W. Big story from this. What do you think about Joe Burrow and his comments about retirement?
That's the big story.
That's crazy.
He was hinting towards it, so he didn't explicitly say it, but he's looking a little luckish.
Defeated.
Little Andrew Luckish now.
Yeah.
Defeated, depressed, whatever you want to call it. And just like Andrew Luck, the injuries mixed with a shitty team, mixed with, multiple coaches.
Line. Yeah.
No O-line, no help.
So going into this game, I was like, Joe, when you start hearing that, and I'm an Andrew Luck fan, so that like shocked me. But now that I saw that, I was like, well, these boys are getting smarter. They're richer than ever. They're like, what, do I need to keep putting myself through this? Like, yeah, there's a love of the game, but when you go through Achilles or ACLs or whatever he's gone through, and that rehab is grueling and it'll crush your soul.
And the dude fights for his life every Sunday.
Yeah.
So like, imagine you just wake up, you're just like, just a deep sigh.
Here we go again. Sad, was that Eeyore?
Lace up.
Let's go play football.
And he knows every play that he drops back and pass, he has to watch out for his life.
Exactly. So that was my big takeaway. It's like, yeah, there's the Joe Burrow comments, right? So as a football team, as the Bengals, I'm watching those comments of, no. This is our franchise guy. This is our go out and tackle your balls off, block your balls off, do everything. Let's convince them to stay. Then they go out and get goose egged in a division. It looked bad, bro. And it was like, man, he was contemplating it. A game like this could be something that sets him over the edge. It'd be interesting to see what happens.
When your leader says those kind of things before a division game, it doesn't really inspire any inspiration. So
yeah, that is true. Another game that we don't need to spend too much time on: Raiders 0, Eagles 31. Eagles had to get this one. This is one of those you needed to get the train back on the tracks. This is what I thought was going to happen last week. But of course, against the Raiders, that's the when they, back in the day, they'd be like, doctor, I'm sick. And they'd be like, here, take this medicine. And they'd be like, yeah, we're having issues with this. And it's like, and they always gave them the same medicine. The medicine in the NFL is go play the Raiders. We're having offensive issues. We're not sure what to do with Brown. We're not sure what to do with Saquon. We've lost for it. Go play the Raiders. I promise. It'll all be all right. It's the medicine.
The Raiders should play Ohio State, probably a closer game. No news here. Raiders are trash. Eagles get a warm-up game before, they take over the division. So
it's the Appalachian State game. Just get things right. Feel good. Move on. Cardinals 20, Texans 40. Texans have my attention. Texans have had my attention defensively, but now when they're putting up 40, you've got my full attention.
Best defense, and they have a favorable schedule. They play the Raiders next, so that's another just warm-up game.
And the thing is,
warm-up game.
Speaking of schedules, they played the 5th hardest schedule in the NFL so far. So it's not
that defense is something, man.
You could point out to the Patriots. You can look at the 49ers. You could look at teams that look good, but you look at their schedule and it's like, well, I can see why you've looked good. Look at the Patriots today. Like they play the Bills, but then you look at the Texans and it's like, yeah, their record isn't as impressive, and they've had quarterback issues with CJ Stroud being hurt, whatever. But they've also played one of the toughest schedules, so they're battle tested heading into the playoffs.
And I said like 2 weeks ago, I said, if CJ Stroud just plays even just a notch or two higher, this team can really be dangerous. But he's gonna be the end all be all. Eventually you're gonna have to get into a shootout, even with this good defense.
Yep.
You're talking about like a 28-29, 28-30 game. Can you be the team that gets 30? Well, they're gonna go as far as CJ Stroud takes them. So if he could keep playing at this, even which is not a great level, but just this notch or two higher, they can be spoilers in the AFC where anything could happen.
I could see them in the AFC Championship, no doubt. That defense travels, and you said, if CJ Stroud plays even mediocre, and then now with Nico starting to play a lot better, it's a real
defensive week. You talk about the Bears on defensive turnovers that they cause, the Ravens, and the Texans. So defense has been showing up, and I think in December ball, that's what counts the most. Can you run the ball? Can you play stout defense?
Big time. Could not agree more with that. Chargers 16, Chiefs 13. Chiefs are done. Put a stamp officially. Lock it up. Throw the key away. And of course, Patrick Mahomes is done.
Man, that's his double whammy.
ACL.
They're already out the door, and they just give him a kick to the ass.
If it's going to happen,
shove them out the door.
Better that it happened now. Like the day you're eliminated, start the process, start healing, whatever it is. And he strikes me as one of those motherfuckers who's going to be back. And they say like an ACL is like a full year he's going to be like in like 6 months, they're going to be like Patrick Mahomes is already throwing, type of shit. But I wanted to lock in on the Chargers because where do you see, have they impressed you? I'm kind of conflicted on the Chargers. I don't know. They're a good team, but they're also injured. I also see their quarterback, Herbert, who you have your issues with. They keep eking out these wins. He's having like gritty. Does that translate? Does that scare you at all? Does that make you change your mind about the Chargers at all? Where do you stand with them?
I still don't. To me, this win didn't really change anything for me. I still need to see Herbert, who's been in the league for a million years. He keeps getting cop out year after year. I'm going to hold him to the Dak standard. I'm going to hold him to the Lamar standard. What have you done in the playoffs? What have you done? What are you going to do? And if you're going to be a first-round bounce, or even if you're a first-round bounce, then the narrative still stands, even more so.
Yeah.
But if you win a playoff game, okay, then you're starting to take strides towards the right direction of being taken serious, as a QB. And my thing is, year after year is always something with them. All the injuries, all the defense, they don't have a coach. Okay. The running back is hurt. They don't have a run game. It's always something. But as a quarterback, you gotta will your team to victory. That's what the great ones do. That's what Josh Allen does. That's what he has to. That's what
low key he's been doing it though. He's been doing it in the regular season
when it matters.
So yeah,
that's
I guess
my thing.
I get I don't know. Point taken. Where it's like, okay, I've seen him be great in the regular season. I've seen him will his team to wins, and then in the playoffs. So I agree. I actually agree. Like this is nothing that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But the narrative is solidified. It's like, let's see in the playoffs.
I mean, and they still what was the score? Like they won by 3.
Yeah, 16-3.
16 to 13.
Yeah, 16.
Give me a break. This is not the if this is the Herbert coming out party. Come on, give me a break. 13, it's 16 points.
I wish you could talk to Jim Harbaugh about Justin Herbert. He's like, that man, he wants to fuck him, dude. He's like, he's so sexy. He's a stud. Have you seen his big rocket arm and his big rocket? Like yo, like what are y'all doing? He like loves this dude more than I've seen.
They've been talking about his arm and his arm talent for the last 10 years. I don't know, however long he's been in the league, 8 years. And what has he done? He hasn't done anything. So to me, Dak gets a lot of criticism. He should get the equal amount of criticism for his lack of production in big games and when it matters. So
I got a lot of shit for this next game because I make my Sunday night or my Saturday night predictions. And I only put one bet the house on it. The Bills 35, Patriots 31. I said bet the house on the Bills. They're going to come through. They need this win more than the Patriots. I don't necessarily think they're the better team. I just like the situation and Josh Allen, and they were down 21-0. I did take a little bit of a live bet on it. Bills come back 35, Patriots 31. Tell me your thoughts.
That's the difference between somebody like Josh Allen and somebody like Drake May. That's the major, and Justin Herbert, if you guys want to throw him in there. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. Can you do that? My team sucks. I have no premier wide receiver 1. I have James Cook and my running and passing skills, and that's it. And he willed his team back to a victory. Drake May had a chance to solidify himself as MVP. It was 4th down with like 2 minutes left. They went for it, and he didn't complete. He didn't complete right there.
Pass got deflected, but
it got deflected. Whatever happened, you didn't get the first down.
Yep.
That's the difference between somebody that's wins Super Bowls and somebody that is just a good quarterback. So to me, he had an opportunity and he didn't show up. It was a good game. It was a really good game, but the Bills are still. I think the Bills kind of like little brother them.
What my takeaway was from this game? The Bills are ass. Their roster is ass.
Yeah.
It is Josh Allen and James Cook against the fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
I was so unimpressed with the Bills defensively. I was so unimpressed with the blocking. It just feels
they're
like
not a good roster.
If they're not a good roster, Josh Allen is just that great.
Yep.
There's no question he was just that great. So are the Bills good? No. Is Josh Allen incredible? One of the 3 possibly best quarterbacks I've ever seen? Absolutely.
Yeah. He's the best quarterback in the league.
It's not even close.
He's the best quarterback in the league. And without him, this team with him, they're a Super Bowl contender. Without him, they're a 2-14 team. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was going to be my next point. And I was like, imagine if you took Josh Allen away from the Bills and just put in like who's a middle of the pack quarterback. Give him like a
Jaguars,
a Trevor Lawrence, or give him no. I'm talking about like taking Josh Allen out of that and putting a media. Who's a perfect middle of the pack quarterback, Joel? Brock Purdy or.
He's a Niner fan, by the way.
Just give me who's a perfect middle of the pack quarterback?
A perfect middle of the pack quarterback. I think Purdy is a good middle of the pack quarterback.
Yeah,
he's not the shittiest, but I'll put him like out of the 32
That's
teams,
a great question. Who's the best? No. Who is the perfect middle of the
Purdy? I would put him like at 15, 16.
Like a Sam Darnold or something. But
I would put Sammy D higher than that. But I think 15 or 16, I would put Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but the point is taken. If you swap out Josh Allen with any other quarterback in the league, I don't see where the hell they are. They're sub 500. Like that's just cold hard facts. Moving on there, but yeah, so we'll see. That division's gonna. I think the Patriots still have a stranglehold on the division there, but the Bills aren't done. Jets. To me, this was kind of a BTA. This is a very good argument for the BTA because the garbage points at the end were just whatever. Jets 20, Jags 48. Jets irrelevant. Don't need to spend time on that. We know where they're going. That's to fight for the number 1 pick. Similar to the way that the Texans have got my full attention. Jags, you got my attention. I'm paying attention. 48 points. Trevor, I know we don't trust him, and I know we need to see it in the. But boy, I think with his new coaching staff, this is not the same Jags team. It feels like they're starting to click at the right time. Defensively, people don't talk about it, but they've been solid all year. Solid. Not great. They've been really good. They get a good pass rush. They've been good. And offensively, now they're starting to click. They're looking kind of frisky, man. They've got my attention.
They have my curiosity. If they beat the Broncos next week, then they have my attention.
Oh.
So they play the Broncos next week. But
that's good.
Let's tip the hat off to them. They've been playing good ball. Defense has been balling out basically all year. I think they're a top 5 defense. I think they're like at 5 or 6 statistically.
Yeah.
I think they're at 5 or 6. Can Trevor Lawrence continue to do what he's doing against a Broncos defense? I'm going to be tuned into that game. I could see it getting, if it's the regular Jaguars that we know, I could see it getting ugly early. Right? The typical Jaguar fashion. Trevor Lawrence throws it into traffic, interception, pick 6 type of deal, fumble from ETN. That's like, never mind.
Trevor Lawrence goes to make a tackle, hurts his shoulder.
Yeah, gets pulled by the hair, some shit like that. Fucking
easy. By his whack ass hair, long hair. Men shouldn't have long. Hey, all right, bro, chill. This is personal.
No, it's not personal. I'm just saying it might be fool's gold. So next week we're gonna see. Okay, let's pay attention, or it's like, all right, guys, nothing to see here. Same old Jags. Let's all go focus on another team.
I will say this.
So we'll see.
Trevor Lawrence's hair does piss me off. Why the hell is it so straight? Why you got long hair and it's just down like a fucking curtains?
Curtain hair.
What the hell is that? Give it a little wave. Give it a little. This motherfucker just has straight and that
texturizer
shit just fucking perfect. Give it so there's no texture to that. That boy's as white as it gets, just straight hair. Let's move on. The game of the week, WEAK. This is a team that this is a game that neither team should want to win. Commanders 29, Giants 21. It's one of those that's like, somebody had to win.
Yeah.
They're like, it sucks because somebody had to lose. No, this is just a game. Unfortunately, somebody had to win.
But you know what? I will say, I don't have much to say, but it was actually an interesting game. And these two teams are not as far off from being, let's say, like the Seahawks. I don't think they're that far off from being like the Seahawks. A team like maybe the Jags. A team like the Jags. They're not that far off from being like the Jags, I think. I think if they draft right, they add some pieces in the offseason, they can be a respectable team.
Right.
So I've seen some good things in both of them, but
they both teams have lots of work. Here. I feel like between the two teams, I like the Giants situation outside of quarterback a little bit better. Moving on, Browns 3, Bears 31, another contender for BTA. Bears just went in. They had to get this win coming off a loss. They went in, handled business, 3 points on giving up 3 points on defense, putting up 31 on that good defense.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, they're handling business. There's a prep game for the Packers again. So they got some momentum. They're riding this wave. They get the Packers again after they just lost them. And I think it was 21-28. No, yeah, 21-28. They lost by a touchdown. So we'll see if they get the Packers this time. I think they do, especially because they got the Packers right where they want them injured. Micah's out probably for the rest of the season. So. They should be a favorite, and they should win that game. So we'll see.
Panthers 17, Saints 20. This is another one of those where it's like that division, nobody wants to win it. The Panthers were primed to take a stranglehold after the Bucs lost on Thursday night. Hey, let's start to create a little bit of a gap here. Surprise? Nope. 17, Saints 20, and the Saints are starting to look frisky towards the end of the year. This is where.
Tyler Shaw, baby.
Yeah, it's just weird and random. He's looking good. He's making plays. He's running. He's like, I don't know, but that division is.
Panthers are just allergic to prosperity because how are you 7-6? You have a chance to go 8-6 against a perfect team, and you smoke it. You know, they're very inconsistent. They're a team, you know, like they showed today. They can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody. So go figure with that division.
Yeah, I put my notes on this was division is interesting because it's ass.
Yeah,
which is like the best way to sum it up. Moving on to an actual good game, the Lions 34, the Rams 41. To me, the Rams continue to show why they've been our pretty consistent number one team. They've been number two, but regardless, 1-2, however you want to say, they're definitely like one of the top teams in the league. And the Lions were up there. They're fighting and clawing for a playoff to get back to where they feel they should be. And the Rams put 41 on that head.
2 losses back to back, tough losses where they've shown you see how good they can be, but they just, you know, they started off hot. They put like 21 up on them in the first half, and then after that they just lulled out. They had like 5 straight drives where they didn't score any points. And
Jahmyr Gibbs fucked me.
It's just typical Lions, man. Like, there's always something. They don't play complete games. They drives, they fizzle out. They don't complete what they're supposed to.
How much of that do you think it's the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson? I think he's one of the greatest offensive coordinators. Now a great head coach we're seeing with the Bears. How much do you think of that is him in giving the play calling duties or the offensive coordinator duties to somebody that was in-house, to somebody that was like, obviously there's going to be a drop. And now we're seeing how big of a drop because Ben Johnson looks amazing with what he's doing with the Bears.
I think it plays a factor, but the reason why I'm going to say it's not as big as a factor as people think it is because they did this shit with Ben Johnson. They were playing the same way as they were when they had him, right? They get to the tough battles, and whenever they're supposed to convert or score a touchdown or do what they're supposed to do to get to advance, they don't. Yeah. I want to say, how much is it Jared Goff? You know, is he the issue? Because we know how good he can be, but it's the consistency thing for me.
Yeah.
How can you play 2 good quarters, but then the other 2 you can't seem to get right? And you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have Jameson Williams, you have Laporta, you have Gibbs, you have Montgomery. Well, goddamn, you have a good line. What else? When do we start shining the light on him? Where you are who we thought you were in LA, and you are the same guy in Detroit.
There's definitely a ceiling.
We need to shine the light on him.
Yeah.
You know, I would explore. If I was in the Lions front office, I would explore trades to get him off my roster.
Damn. That's interesting. You think they need just a little bit? You think there's a lack of mobility and playmaking outside of if the play doesn't work the way it's drawn up, it's over.
Exactly. If you don't have a Sean McVay or Ben Johnson, right? Because he played for those 2 teams, drawing something up beautiful for me, I'm just
hella weapons
left and right, and I still can't win. Then you're just like a taller Brock Purdy.
I was just gonna say, Joel, how do you think Jared Goff? I feel like Jared Goff would be kind of nasty with the 49ers. Oh, he said, I don't think he'd be better than Brock. We'll get back to you in a second.
That raises the question: how good is Jared Goff? And is he who we always thought he was? So
Colts 16, Seahawks 18. Listen, did you watch any of this game? Did you watch Phillip Rivers?
I watched like the first quarter for Phillip Rivers, but man, that guy.
That shit was hilarious.
That guy looked like somebody playing backyard football at Hart Park or something like that.
It looked exactly like what it was. They just called this dude off the couch. He's like,
God,
hey man, our quarterback went down. What are you up to these days? You want to play? Hell freaking right. You know, he doesn't cuss. He's like, hell freaking right. You bet your bottom dollar on the bum. You know, like
darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'. I'll be there on Sunday, coach. And then he goes out there and they ask him how much he weighs, and he's just like, well, it ain't the same weight that I was when I played my last game.
I ain't as good as I once was.
That's it right there.
But I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah. Oh man.
They call this man, he was flipping burgers. He had the phone phone in the hand, flipping the burgers with the
bro,
with the beer in the koozie, just big chilling.
He's been enjoying himself. But it is, look, the Saints eked it out. He had him on the verge of winning. He threw a touchdown. Like, he had them on the verge of winning. The Seahawks are able to pull out this win. I don't take much away from the Seahawks on this one, as far as like, oh, I can't drop them down, because it's an unassuming. It's an you're like, all right, what the hell are we gonna do?
The element of surprise factor kind of plays.
Exactly. You're like, is it? This guy's. You just don't know what you're getting, what to expect, how to game plan for it, whatever. What are they going to do? They're clearly trying to do something different, because they can't just rely on him the way he was in his prime. So you're like, all right, we got to stop the run, blah, blah, blah. So,
but you know what's crazy? Imagine like you're watching there from the sidelines as a backup quarterback, and you're like, fuck, I suck.
Yeah, this motherfucker hasn't played in 5 years, almost 6 years.
I suck. And I've been practicing for like the last 6-7 months.
With these guys.
And with these guys that know me, there's some chemistry. And they got this guy over here fumbling around, can't even do a drop back, right? Without slipping and falling.
That was hilarious. They were like
crawling on the ground.
This fool got up and Jesus was like, let me just leap forward and
if
try
you're
to get
the backup,
back.
whoever the backup quarter is for the Colts, I'd be like, guy, I got to consider retirement, because this is fucking, like, if I'm this bad, like, that's crazy.
Packers 26, Broncos 34. Broncos, where's the camera?
Tip the hat.
This is the first time that I've been, let me plug that back in. First time I've been impressed with the Broncos all season. Have they had a good record? Yes. Do they have a good record, or do they have a good roster? Yes. Have we acknowledged that? Yes. Then you watch them play, not that impressive. Today, impressive win.
Yeah, I'll give it. Yeah, they have a win that's impressive. I mean, Bo Nix should have had like at least like 4 interceptions though, but he didn't. And they won. So, and they look good. Cortland Sutton, I think he needs to continue to build that connection with him. But they got a good dub. They're on my list. You got to put them on the list, but to me, they're not as high as most people would think. I know the 11-2 is looking attractive now, but
they needed to win like this. They needed to win like this. Packers, Micah Parsons, big story for them. It looks like he's out for the rest of the season. ACL, not good. I had them at number 3 last week in my top 5. I will say I don't think this is like they didn't get blown out. They looked decent. They were okay. They were definitely the inferior team today. But so I'm not totally dismissing the Packers. I still think they were good enough for the Broncos win to look impressive. And that's what I kind of took away from that.
Yeah, I think it's getting interesting now in the NFC. I think it's anybody's game. I think it's going to be a game of who's healthier.
Yeah.
At the end, because the Niners are banged up. The Bears are banged up on defense with their linebackers. I know some came back, or maybe one guy came back. Now the Packers are banged up, but they're always banged up. So I think there's 3 good coaches. Shanahan, you got Ben Johnson, and you got the Packers coach. I forget his name.
LaFleur.
LaFleur. Who's historically a good coach. This year's a little questionable in my opinion, but I think it's going to be interesting. The NFC race.
Yeah. I always credit teams with having wins like this. Titans 24, the 49ers 37. How every week there seems to be a team, a huge upset. The Panthers over the Rams, the Panthers upsetting Green Bay, 13-point underdogs. Like, there's always teams, and we always chalk it up. We're like, hey, that's the NFL. So we should also give credit when teams go out and just fucking handle business. How I feel about the Seahawks. You went out, wasn't pretty, but you handled business. 49ers were expected to win. They went out. I'm not sure what the spread was, but it looks like, I don't think it was a 13-point spread, but they covered that. 49ers, I got to give them credit for going out and winning a game they're expected to win. Titans, didn't they just come off a win? They just had a recent win. I don't know if it was last week or the week before.
Who they beat?
They beat somebody recently.
Yeah, they won last week.
So it's one of those, like, we got nothing to lose. Let's just go throw it out there. No, you got handled, and there's something to be said. My big thing with the 49ers, 2 things. Their schedule's been ass, one of the worst in the league. So they're beating up on bad teams. And 2, how beat up they are on defense. So are they looking good now? Yes. How far can that take them into the playoffs and into the postseason? I have my doubts on that.
I think the playoffs is all about coaching to me and defense, and their defense is looking.
It's crazy that
really
looking
good.
so good.
They're looking good despite all their injuries. You know, they would be scary if they had Bosa and Fred Warner in there. But I think they're a well-coached team, you know, on the offense and defensive side.
Yep.
So to me, this is a team I wouldn't want to play if I was the Seahawks or if I was the Rams, especially because it's a division game and you already know those are toss-ups. So, you know, good dub by them. They're handling business, and the Niners, as much as I hate them, they're a good team.
Well coached. It tells you when you're well coached on the offense and defense. I don't know. Joel, quickly, where do you expect the 49ers to go? What do you think? What do you see? There's a mic right there if you want to grab that real quick.
Can they play spoiler? Can they NFC Championship? I know you don't think Super Bowl.
I think there's a route to the. I think there's a route to the Super Bowl.
Holy
I
shit!
really do. Hold on. Let me explain
You
this.
sound like John before the season.
Let's
He
hear
said
it.
it.
Let me explain this.
Cowboys belt to ass on the NFL, and then we're gonna go to the Super
Is
Bowl.
it crazy to say that the Seahawks beat the Rams this week?
No.
Is it crazy to say that the Niners beat the Colts, the
No.
Bears, and the Seahawks?
The Phillip Rivers Colts, brother? No, I'm fucking with you.
So they win those three, they get the 1 seed. They get the 1 seed, you're 2 games away.
They can do it. I mean, I don't know about Super
The
Bowl.
path
though.
is there because
if
the
you got-
records.
It depends who they play. You know, if they're a wild card team and they got to beat the Rams and then the Seahawks, they're not
brutal,
going to
yeah.
do
No,
that.
I'm not saying that, but I just explained the
See,
situation
yeah.
where they are the 1 seed. They're sitting there with the 1
They-
seed
they-
at home.
They play the Bucks or something like that. I could see them. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're the 1 seed. They play the Bucks. Now at home, Rams, Seahawks, whoever it might be.
Because you just got to beat one of them now,
You beat one of them,
and that's it.
you're in the Super Bowl. The AFC is as open as
If this
it's
is the
ever
year that the
been.
fucking 49ers win the Super Bowl with this defense, with these injuries, with no Ayuk, with I'd be like, I give up, man.
It'll
What
be
the hell?
it'll be probably the most impressive Super Bowl win.
It would be more fulfilling. It would be.
Yeah, it'll be very impressive. But
Yeah.
I could definitely see that if they if they get the 1 seed, and they play the Bucks, let's say, and then they either play the Rams or the Seahawks, and that's a toss up. They could very well beat either one,
Yeah.
and then that's it. You're in.
Yep.
Okay.
There's division games.
Let's go back to my expectation though. It depends on if they get the 1 seed, there's a route for them to go that far. If they get the 7th seed, maybe win 1 game and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
it depends.
much
It's
harder.
like choose your adventure. It's
Yeah.
like if we end up going here, then this is the expectation. If we end up going here, we have a shot.
Well, if they get the 1 seed, morale is high. You got Kyle Shanahan. I think everyone believes in him in that locker room. I think if they get the 1 seed, I see a route to the Super Bowl. If they don't get the 1 seed,
Yeah, you'd be asking for a lot.
yeah.
You can end up like the Steelers, one and done with no real expectations. Vikings 34, Cowboys 26.
Oh my god. You know what? Yeah, well deserved. Well deserved. The Eagles are giving us this damn division on a platter, and we just shit the bed. We look uninspired. You know, there's no motivation. We came out flat with a shitty game plan, and I kind of felt off about it, and especially when fucking we missed that first field goal. I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those games. And you're just watching just like a car accident, just left and right. We're making JJ McCarthy look like the fucking Joe Burrow out there. He has 30 minutes to throw and still couldn't find Justin Jefferson. And they were dropping balls left and right, and they were playing terrible football, and we somehow made them look amazing. Cowboys are done. Our season's done. Yeah, it's nothing much to say now. I mean, I hate that our season ended with 3 games to go, because now as a fan, I'm just going to be like, oh.
Hey, listen, all I'm going to say is I feel like the only realistic motherfucker on this podcast, because when the season started, we're going to be this. And then you said, we're going to win the division and go here. Here I am.
We had an
sitting here.
opportunity to win the division.
Here I am, just being realistic, head on straight, reasonable. Steelers, gonna end up fucking right where they are. We are one game above 500, right where we are, right? Well, just that sweet spot, and then we're gonna get bounced in the first round. But here I am. Just hey, I've been the realest one, the most accurate one. But hey, the realistic ones never get credit.
We could have won a division. I mean, we had it right there. We weren't far off. I mean, if we won today, it would be a different conversation. But when you lose to the Vikings, you lose to the Panthers, you lose to shitty teams like that, Cardinals. But the thing is, we have no pass rush, man, and our secondary is terrible.
Y'all need to go get someone like Micah Parsons.
If we get because he tore his leg off. So good thing we got Q-Dub. We got Quentin Williams. Good thing we got him, and he's gonna be an anchor for us next season. And he's a mature captain that we're gonna really need next year. If we get an edge rusher and we go out in free agency with a secondary, we'll be in contention. So.
It's all about next year now. Let's get into, I'm scared to talk about this, Dolphins at Steelers. This is going to be our game, our prediction. Dolphins 3-point underdogs in Acrisure. Talk to me about your pick.
The only reason why I'm picking the Steelers is because I don't have faith in Tua playing in December, especially in the frozen place that fucking Acrisure Stadium is. So give me the Steelers. Tua, I'm not gonna pick you, buddy. I'm not gonna pick you, especially if you were at home. I would probably pick Tua and the Dolphins. But since you're playing it in Pittsburgh, give me the Steelers.
I fully understand that the Steelers are capable of winning this game, and I think they should be favored. And I think that the three kind of tripped me out a little bit because the Dolphins' offense has been looking kind of like the offense that they were, they've been looking good. They've been beating teams. They have a 3-game win streak coming into this. That freaks me out because I also feel like the Steelers are just as capable of losing this game. But tomorrow, give me the Steelers. It scares me in front of national TV. There's a stat that came out. It's like Mike Tomlin hasn't lost on Monday Night Football. And I'm just like, well, thank you for jinxing it. Like, I hate this shit, bro. But I do believe that the Steelers are in more... I think they sense a little bit of weakness with the Ravens. They have the lead in the division right now, and you need this win. How confident am I in it? Not very, but it is what it is. Let's get into our top 5. This was a tough week, and let's get through this one quickly because the camera's starting to die a little bit. So, you want to start with your top 5? Give me your top 5 teams and your honorable mention.
Yeah, I'll go from top to bottom. Number 1.
No. Go start bottom to top.
Okay, number 6, honorable mention, Bears and Niners. I couldn't pick either one, but I got them both as my 6. Number 5, Broncos. Number 4, Patriots. Number 3, the Bills. Number 2, Seahawks. Number 1, the Rams.
See, we have a very similar list, but also not that similar. Here's my top 5. At number 5, I got the Patriots. Kind of got punched in the mouth today, played a good team. Number 4, I had to put the Broncos. You can't ignore the record and the impressive win today. Got to do it. Number 3, I have the Texans on here. I have the Texans at number 3. That defense, and if that offense is going to start playing like that, give me the Texans at number 3. Number 2, the Seahawks. And number 1, the Rams again. Can't deny what they're doing. My honorable mention, the Jags. I'm scared to put the fucking Jags in, but I can't continue to ignore they're putting up 30 plus every week. So the defense is good.
So Jags play Bills. You're taking the Jags?
Yes. I don't. Wow. To me, the Bills are ass. The Bill. It's Josh Allen and nothing else. What happens if he has a bad game? We've seen it. They lose these games that they're expected to win. I don't think the Bills are that talented at all. I think if Josh Allen puts on the Superman cape, which he's fully capable of doing, but how many times can you really rely on him to get down 21-0 and then you're like, oh, well, he's just going to throw the cape on at halftime and then come out and win, which he does, but you can't, I can't trust that. It makes me love Josh Allen that much more, but I watch his team and I'm like, you guys suck. So there's our top 5. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But so we got Monday Night Football. Y'all be sure to tune in, check out the YouTube, check us out on socials at IOYSayItBackPod. I'm at Pick T Radio.
At John Anthony XIX.
John or Joel is John. Joel, what's your
Jay, I think it's Jay Gonza. I'm not even.
Jay, he switches it like every 12 minutes. So Jay Gonza, find him on there. He's all
Jay
over.
Niners killer 2022.
Brock Purdy is the GOAT lover. Please bring Ayuk back at. You have a great night. Sleep good. Check us out. Don't want to steal the game tomorrow. I'm
Like,
scared.
comment, subscribe, engage.
Do the whole thing, baby. I love you. Bye.